Femi Lambers, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about just how simple and easy it is to make multiple six figures just by picking up your phone and talking to sellers and following up with them and building relationships and rapport consistently. And I think this is something that a lot of people fail at. A lot of people fail at the sales game because there's a big difference between traditional sales where it's like, hey, all right, cool, we're closed, great. What's your credit card number? Okay, great. Five, whatever. Credit card, purchase, boom, purchase. There's a big difference between that form of sales and cultivating a relationship and building rapport with the seller. I mean, they're 9-day. Because you could close a seller, get a contract signed, boom, I got the contract signed, perfect. I got it under contract at 20 grand. I'm gonna go sell it for 80. You could do that. But then the seller could change their mind, right? And so it's important to understand that you actually need to be building relationships with these people. And then furthermore, when you have teams and people that you hire, they need to be building relationships with these people to where they're pretty much friends, right? Your seller has to trust you. They have to trust that you're gonna perform on the day you say you're gonna perform. And as long as they trust that, they'll go with you. I've had sellers go with me even though I gave them less money because they trusted that I was going to perform. And those are deals where I've made anywhere from $30,000 to $250,000 on. And so when you understand that this is about relationships, how do you build a relationship with someone strictly from your phone? How do you build a relationship and a rapport to the point where they trust you, where they never see your face, where they never shake your hand, they never look at you, they don't know anything about you? How do you do that? How do you do that? For me, it was all in my tonality. It was all in listening to them and responding to them with something that was helpful, something that added value, no matter what they said. I've had sellers talk to me about their children. I respond with something that's helpful to them, and then I carry on and talk about the property. You realize too that it's not like you have to do a bunch of talking. It should really be you talking maybe 15 to 20% of the time, and the rest of that time let them talk and just listen. I've heard so many calls where people mess up their deal because they keep talking. You just keep talking. You're not listening to these people. Let them tell the full story on the property, because you know what? They might tell you, oh yeah, my cousin Jimmy, he went out there and he burned it up, or he burned up some trash, threw it all over the property, so now there's trash all over the property. You have to let them talk though to get there. Remember, it should be around 15 to 20% of you actually talking. Let them talk the rest of the way. Let them tell their story. Let them tell the story of the property. And be those open ears. Because when you become that, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna keep calling you. They're gonna call you again. Hey Jimmy, I just want to give you a call here. How's everything going with my property? You become friends with these people up until the point that you close. You got to be able to build that trust with your sellers, because it's not just about a traditional sale. You have to be able to get them under contract and get them all the way to the finish line. Your goal and your key should be getting them to the finish line. And then even further than this, let's say that this has happened to me before, where we might think that we're going to close on a property at a certain price, and then we get to the point where we're about to close and it's like, you know what? We're not going to list it at 85. We actually need to list it at 65. So now I got to go back to the seller and turn my 35 or 45 into a 25 or 15. I got to go do an ovation. So when you have to do that, guess what comes into play? If you don't have any rapport built up with your seller, they're going to be like, screw off. I don't want to deal with you. You told me this and you didn't do it. So now I don't trust you. But you have to be able to build that rapport enough to where it's like, hey, listen, I'm going to close for you, but we just can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. That's the reality of the business. That's the reality of the business. You're going to have uncomfortable conversations with your sellers, a lot of people are not willing to have those conversations because they don't want to get yelled at, they don't want to be cussed out, and you have to be willing to be cussed out in this business to get to where you want to go. You have to be willing to be called names and everything under the sun to get to where you want to go. And if you don't have the skin to do that, if you don't have the reasoning within yourself, the resolve within yourself to go after it and say, no matter what anyone says to me, I'm gonna get here because I know it's gonna get me to where I want to go in my life. I know it's gonna get me to that 6-figure level, that 7-figure level that I want to get to in my life. I know it. I have conviction in that. So if you know that, you gotta just take it. Say, no matter what, I'm gonna talk to these sellers. I'm gonna follow up. I'm gonna build a rapport. You're gonna have sellers that talk to you and are trying to, legitimize, well, who are you? Where are you from? And all of these things. You have to tell them. And so I'll leave you with this. In this business, building trust and rapport with your seller is everything. You need to make sure that when they go to look up your company, they go to look up your website, they see something that is appealing, they see something that looks legitimate, they see something that establishes itself as a real business. Because that's the only thing you have to fall back on. You got your mailer when they open the mailer, you've got your website, your public interface, everything like that, and then you have the phones. So who answers the phone when they call? Is it Pat Live? Is it an answer force? Is it an answering service? Who is it? What is it? Figure that out. And make sure that whatever it is, they're on point. It can't be off by any means because you'll lose deals and you'll lose money. That's the first person they talk to. And then after that, who do they talk to? You or one of your employees. It should be you for now. If you're just starting out, it should be you. Who do they talk to? Do they talk to you? Okay. Every single thing when they talk to you needs to be on point, on par. 10 times out of 10 times. You got to be sharp. You got to be a sniper. They have to love you by the time you get off that phone call. And that's how you, if you carry through your calls and your acquisitions like that, like I'm building relationships with people and I'm just talking to people about property. This is what I do all day. It's not a big deal. This is just what I do. I'm just a great person and I want to genuinely help you, seller. Mr. Seller, I genuinely want to help you out of whatever situation you're in. I genuinely want to help you sell your property because it helps you. It actually does help you, and by helping you, I'm helping myself. And actually have that mindset. Don't just fake the funk. Like really have that mindset. Because when you really have that mindset and you come from the place of just serving people, then what happens is that's all you do, and people feel that. People feel your passion. People feel that you just want to serve them. People feel that you just want to help. People feel that you just want to help them out of whatever situation they're in. And that's what you have to understand. Like, come from the place of serving. When you answer the phone, don't think about, damn, I can make $60,000 on this deal. Think about, okay, this person said they want to sell because X, Y, Z. How do I help them do that?